and I went off to a theatre festival in Spain last summer because we really enjoy an aspect of theatre that they do over there, which is called corrifoc, which actually means running with fire. And the atmosphere is like being transported somewhere else. It's not watching a show. You become caught up in a ritual. It was fantastic because we were booked by the Clydesdale Arts Festival to do a community event in the autumn. And it started the day after we got back from Spain.
And we went up there for 2 weeks and worked with the community and built a bonfire and did a show and all about a dragon, chasing away the autumn dragon and putting it to rest, ready for the winter time when everyone should have a long sleep and not get on with anything new till spring. One woman called Lynn, who's a jewellery maker, who came to one of the workshops, told us this legend about a dragon that was chased through the streets of Biggar by winter sprites. I think that's what's really nice, that you get somewhere and you don't know what you're going to do, but you have a vague idea. Then what happens is that everything grows on top of the idea from the people around you, and at the end of it all, you can't remember how you began, but it all seems that you've like made the perfect picture for the place where you've worked. All that magic happens, really.
Thank you, thank you. I just need a few ingredients for my Christmas.
He'll make you a magic pudding, spiced with wishes, hopes and dreams, conjured out of thin air, for nothing's as it seems. The magical Moosh is just incredible. Everything he does is unbelievable. Wandering the land with his travelling band, making magic and mayhem. Won't you give him a hand?
Hey!
Hey, she has some ingredients.
I think it's just the bringing together of different art forms, which is rather than isolating sort of visual art or isolating music or isolating drama, but it's sort of bringing together these different forms so that they can tell a much bigger story. And people aren't isolated. They're not just musicians and they're not just painters and they're not just actors. We have all those qualities within them, and that's why I think if you bring one leg, you pull one leg of a table, one leg doesn't come, the whole table comes, doesn't it? And I think that's the idea, that if you get people being creative in one way, then it doesn't stop. People become generally more creative and enjoy it more.
Snap, 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 clap, clap, tick. Everybody all together, that should do the trick.
Last year we did a tea dance and variety show for senior citizens called Tea and Roses, and as part of that we had a Go As You Please spot, and we actually talked to people about recreating the zenith of the Blythe Music Hall, which now has been turned into a multi-storey car park, but which once upon a time was like one of the most famous variety halls in the northeast, and was managed by Stan Laurel's father. And so they could all remember how it was. So we said we'd recreate it in the common rooms of the sheltered housing where we went and did the show. But there was one wonderful lady who wanted to do the desert song, in which she has to sing a duet with a sheik. And it was exactly what she wanted to do, and we found the music and we got the pianist to practice it up, and then she wanted someone to play the sheik, and to begin with she wanted Ozzie to play the sheik with a tea towel on his head. When she heard him sing, she said no, he wouldn't do. And so she then got the husband of the lady who ran the sheltered housing to do it. And it was absolutely marvellous, because on the night of the performance he started singing his part, you know, my desert is waiting, and he got, you know, he was getting into it, just getting into it. She said, stop, 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 and everybody wondered what was wrong, and she said, you're meant to stand close to me and look me in the eyes, she said. And then she said, when I used to do this 20 years ago in a concert party when I was in my 60s, and we used to go round sheltered housing accommodation as a concert party, and I used to do this. She said, my husband used to get extremely jealous of the man I used to sing it with, and he used to say, do you have to stand so close? And do you have to look at each other in the eyes? And she said, well, of course he's getting ready to take me off to his tent. And she said afterwards, I never thought I'd have the opportunity of doing this duet again. She said, now here I am in my 80s, and I've done it.
Bubbles of dreams, bubbles of dreams, make this world be different to what it seems. The bubbles float right up in the sky, they travel far. Let them rise for a time, reach that distant star. Let my dreams drift ever upwards, high above this line.
Letting people's imagination begin to bubble and letting them begin to remember things that everybody knows inside them but never get brought out. There was one little girl, Cheryl, who always found it really difficult to handle, and she would get quite angry and she would say, but he's not real, is he? It's not real. And he'd say, no, he's not real, he's there's someone inside him. And afterwards he would show her the mask and say, this is the mask, that the person wore. And but it was good to tell the story, wasn't it? And she'd say, yes. And then she could get really angry and say, but it's not real, is it? And I found that really sad, that something in her short life, because she was only 8 or 9, something hadn't been allowed to happen.
No singing! No laughter! No magic!
They hadn't had a carnival or a festival since the coronation, but they wanted to have a summer fete and a summer festival, so they asked us in to help them, and we worked for a week along with the local community. And that was 5 years ago. Now every summer since, they've had their own and they've done it themselves. It's as though they sort of picked up the tips on how to make things and how to weave a little bit of an opening ceremony together. And in that way, you feel that your job has been done, really. One of the people in the town, the joiner, he actually built a Viking ship which was taken down to the sea, and like they do, with St Cuthbert on board, I think. And so, but the next year, St Cuthbert was brought from the sea to open the festival, and so it's sort of what finished one festival was brought back to open the next one. So in that way, there's a continuity. And you always hope for that, but you don't always get it.
Oh no, you wouldn't! Oh no, you wouldn't! Oh no, you bananas!
The magical Milkman is just incredible. Everything he does is unbelievable. Wandering the land with his traveling band, making magic and mayhem. Won't you give him a hand?
I certainly will.
That's the way to do it.